Hello everyone. It's nice to meet you all once again virtually through this video lecture. Today, I'll be introducing you to note taking. So, in my lecture, I'll be concentrating on what is note taking, why to take notes, and how note taking has become an important skill, essential skill that one has to develop over the course of time. And I'll also deal with what are the different types of note taking method that you need to know. Okay, so at the outset, what is note taking? See, note taking, it is the process of recording information from one source to another source. It is noting down important information from the available information. So you will be asked to take notes in a lecture, through you'll be asked to take notes in conferences, in meetings, while listening to video lectures, and you take down important information from the available information that you get. So note taking is storage of information for later use. You store information for later recall, for later use. And it should be understood that, see, note taking has become a skill. It is an essential skill that everyone should develop and practice. It is an important skill particularly required in school, college, and university environment, university spaces. You will be expected to take notes for different purposes and in different contexts during lectures, while revising for exam, or in presentations, or in conference. Unfortunately, many of our students are not adequately prepared for taking effective notes in college and academic environment. Those students who do not take notes, they won't get much out of their lectures, won't understand. If you don't take notes, you won't remember the points that you read from your textbooks or assigned readings. Effective note taking is very important, as important as how to write a research, how to write a research, learning to write a research paper, how to take up an exam. Likewise, effective note taking also is as important as that. So, why take notes? See, many informations, in the information that you get from your books won't be enough. Your teachers sharing information would share information that are not available in your textbook. They would share many new ideas, additional ideas, to make you understand, example instances to make you understand easier. So it is necessary to take notes during lectures. See, notes becomes a storehouse of information. It stores information for later use. That is, you can use it for preparing for an exam. It would give you a kind of easy revision. When you do literature review to write a research paper, at the time of your writing, your notes would help you to write a research paper. And taking note helps you become an active listener and critical thinker. So when you take notes, you become active listener. You carefully pay thoughtful attention to what is being spoken to, and you analyze, judge, and you rationalize the content that is being taught to you. You become an active listener, and you critically think, you evaluate. You not only listen, you evaluate the content that is being spoken to you. You rationalize what are the facts the speaker is speaking, what are the opinions is there are there in the speaker's content. So you become critical uh, thinker. Notes helps you to remember information. See, according to this writer Walter Park, in his book How to Study in College, he reveals that highlights that students who do not take notes in lecture will lose information as follows. See, see, we humans, we have the tendency to forget. See, even though brain is a storage, it stores a lot of memory. See, we tend to forget many things over the course of time. And likewise, see, after lecture, this research highlights that after a lecture, after 20 minutes, 20 minutes after a lecture, we forget 47% of the content that we learned. After one day, we forget about 69%. If it gets past 2 days, uh, we forget about sorry, there is a mistake here. After one day, we forget 62% of the content that we learned. After 2 days, we forget about 69% of the content. After 10 weeks, we forget 75%. So when it is 15 weeks, we completely forget 95% of what we have learned in a lecture. So note taking is very important, and there are different types of note taking, and we can broadly divide note taking into two types. First one is linear note taking, and the second one is non-linear note taking. And under linear note taking, you have general method, the traditional method, linear method, and Cornell method. And in the non-linear note taking, you have mind mapping and flowchart. So first, we'll see the linear method. The general linear method, it is the traditional method we usually use to take notes. Uh, See, it should be short, simple, and sequential. When you take note, your note should be short, simple, and sequential. And there are three elements that should be there in the sequential order. In the format of your note taking, there should be three elements. They are: first, first one is the notes, second one is the abbreviation and symbols that you use in your notes, and third one is the summary of the notes that you have taken. So this is the template of general linear note taking method. First one is you should assign a title or the heading. See, if you are reading an article, if you are taking notes for an article that you are reading, first you should assign a suitable title or heading, and that heading should convey the main meaning or the idea of the article that you are reading. And then after that, your notes can be divided into different subheadings: subheading 1, subheading 2, and subheading 3. And each subheading should have subpoints, and then each subpoint should have subpoints, any number of subpoints. Okay, so this is the general format of linear note taking method. And after that, the second element is you should use abbreviations and symbols. See, you can, whatever you abbreviated within your notes, you can write it down at the end of your notes. And if you have used any symbols, you have to write the symbols that you have used here. For instance, you can use greater than symbol, less than symbol, at symbol, increase, decrease symbol. And after this, you should write a summary of what the notes you have taken. That is for your recall, to make you easily understand and remember the notes you have taken. Okay, so now let us see an example. See, if you're reading an article on parts of speech and you are asked to take notes, see, first, what will be the title that you would give? Obviously, you would give parts of speech. Okay, so parts of speech can be divided into 8 types. There are 8 types in 8 elements in the components in the parts of speech. First one is noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Uh, so these noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, all these 8 components of part of speech are subheadings: subheading 1, subheading 2, subheading 3, and subheading 4. Okay, and now look at the verb number 3, verb. See, verb can be further divided into 2 types, that is main verb and helping verb. So verb number 3, verb is the subheading, and the main verb and helping verb are subpoints of the verb. And see, helping verb can further be divided into two types, that is primary helping verb like is, am, and are, and models like can and could. So here these primarily helping models are sub-points of sub-points. That is main verb and helping verb. So verb is the subheading, and main verb and helping verbs are sub-points, and primary helping verb and models are sub-points of the sub-point helping verb. So at the end, you have to give the abbreviation that you have used. So here we have used PHV. PHV means primary helping verb. So you have to write it down in the abbreviations. Here MDLS, that is model. So again, you have to mention the abbreviation that you use in the notes at the end of your notes. So we haven't used any symbols, so don't need to write. Don't need to write the symbols. Okay. So again, you have to write a summary on the notes that you have taken, so that you can easily recall. Next, coming into the second method of linear note-taking method is Cornell note-taking method. Cornell note-taking method is a systematic format of condensing and organizing notes without need for laborious recopying by dividing the paper into specific section. See, in this method, in this Cornell note-taking method, the paper is divided into 3 sections. See, this is a sample template of Cornell note-taking method. Here, you divide the paper into 3 sections, and this is the main section where you take the notes. Okay, and the second section is Q section, and the third section is the summary section. Here, in Cornell note-taking method, here in note section, see, the notes is taken during the class, and you have to give an appropriate title heading in this section, and then you can write your name, class, and date here. And see, you have to write the main points that you would like to take notes. Okay, so you have to listen to the lecture and write the main points here, and make sure that you write it at bullet points. Okay, and use phrases. That would be enough. So use phrases, and if there are any diagrams, charts that your teacher or instructor is showing you or has drawn for you in the classroom, you can draw that in this section, and give outlines of the ideas that you have. See, and leave space between each topics, so that you can go back to that section, that point, and add more point if the teacher gives you an extra point about that point. Okay, and this Q section, see, this is written soon after the class gets over, after a lecture gets over, and here you can write anticipated exam questions that you think that would come out of this lecture, or main ideas about the or innovative ideas that you get after going through your notes. And see, you can write your own points, memorize the ways in which you can memorize. Okay, and finally you have to write a summary. See, summary you have to write it after the class hour. Okay, so from what you have, from the notes that you have taken and the cues that you have written soon after the class, you write a summary. See, summary written after class, brief summary highlighting the main points in the notes on this page. Used to find info later. So when you write summary, it will be easy for you to recall it later when you are trying to revise the lecture. So now I have introduced you to linear method of note taking, and there is non-linear method of note taking too, that is mind mapping and charting. So that I'll be introducing you to in the next video lecture. So as of now, I have introduced you to note taking, what is note taking, why to take notes, and how note taking has become an essential skill that everyone should develop, and the different types of note taking. And in that, I have taught you the linear note taking method. Okay, traditional linear note taking method and the Cornell note taking method. So thank you very much. If you have any doubts, do ask me in the class, or you can even ask your doubts in the comment section. Thank you so much.